G'day and welcome back to the channel, Ginger Ninja's Movie Reviews. I am the Ginger Ninja and these are my movie reviews. If you're new to my channel, thank you very much for tuning in, stopping by and checking it out. It is truly appreciated. If you're wondering what I'm doing here today, well, it's Tuesday. It's time for Trashy Tuesday. So Trashy Tuesday is where I look at the trashiest films that I can find. And look, when it comes to trash, Troma is the king. We know what they're like. And I decided to check out one which I haven't watched in a very, very long time. I have very vague recollections of watching this, back in the early 90s on VHS. And I figured it was time I revisited it. And it's none other than Sgt Kabukiman, NYPD from 1990. Now, before we get into the film, I do want to say a big thank you to all my new and existing subscribers. I say it every week and I truly mean it. So thank you so much for listening to me blather on about these films. Hopefully you're getting as much out of this as I am, because these are a lot of fun most of the time. Anyway, look, the film was directed by Michaelherz and Lloydkaufman. Lloydkaufman synonymous with troma. The film stars rickgianasi, susanbyun, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, billweeden, Thomas Cernovic, hope I'm pronouncing that one right too, and brickbronsky. Brickbronsky was in Class of Newcomb High 2 and 3. So it's good to see him in a different role in the Troma films. But look, let's get into this one because, this is let's get into it. Now the plot, a streetwise New York police officer transforms into the world's most unusual superhuman hero. Now look, if you're a fan of quirky over-the-top superhero comedies with a touch of the bizarre, then Sgt Kabukiman, NYPD is a film that should be on your radar. The plot sees Harry Griswold, a New York City cop, who accidentally inherits the powers of an ancient kabuki superhero. And of course, hilarity ensues. Okay, so maybe not so much on the hilarity, maybe chaos, mayhem, weird ass shit, all of the above. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Look, the film is definitely one for fans of the absurd. And fans of trauma films will indeed get a kick out of this, but it's definitely not going to be for everyone. But let's take a look at it. Now, having a look at the cast, and look, the performances are rather good. And let's start with rickgianasi's portrayal as Harry Griswold, Sgt Kabukiman. It's suitably over the top, and it definitely embodies the film's campy essence. He manages to capture the comedic impotence of, the police officer Harry, while also delivering the exaggerated heroics of Kabukiman. Susanbyun, who plays Lotus, Kabukiman's love interest and mentor, plays it with a degree of seriousness that provides a humorous contrast to an otherwise quite zany proceedings. Billweeden's performance as the villainous Reginald Stewart is delightfully funny and kind of reminded me of The Naked Gun. Who was it who played? Was it Ricardo Montalban who played the villain in that? Kind of reminded me of him in some ways, but overall he fits really well into the film's tone. But for me, it was Thomas Krenovich. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. His crazed performance really stood out as a highlight for me right from the get-go when we're introduced to his psychotic character, basically, stabbing kids and throwing a woman out a window and making a funny pun at the same time. It really sets the tone for this film. Now, the supporting casts are they're largely caricatures. You got two main ones, Brickbronsky and Joe Flyshaker, who have been in other Troma films that are just Brickbronsky's a big guy. He's just nothing going on up there. Joel Fleischer's a overweight police officer who's just stuffing donuts in his mouth. So they are that caricature-y style, but they suit the film's comedic tone, but they don't bring anything to the actual overall film. Now on to the directing and the writing. And directed by Lloydkaufman and Michaelherz, the film displays Tromaentertainment's signature low-budget and irreverent style. The direction is chaotic and uneven in places. The pacing is also uneven, and there's a lack of coherence in the action sequences. The cinematography is basic, it's functional, but there's no innovation, there's very little flair. The writing. Look, it's worth noting that the humour in Sgt Kabukiman NYPD can be quite polarising. This is a film from the 90s. There's a lot of stuff in this one which the humour probably won't fly today. But look, if you're not a fan of slapstick comedy, puns, or intentionally cheesy dialogue, this might not be the film for you. But it's also one of the more enjoyable aspects of Sgt Kabukiman NYPD. Its unapologetic embrace of the absurd, is what makes the film stand out. It doesn't take itself seriously for a second, and it allows a non-stop parade of gags, puns, and visual humour. The pacing, however, is another story. I mentioned the pacing was uneven, and this is, to me, the biggest downfall of the film. It's got an hour and 45-minute runtime, which is a really long troma film. This movie, in parts, plods along, and certain scenes are dragged out far too long, and it makes it a very tough watch. The film's special effects and makeup are very campy, but that's to be expected with a troma film. You expect cheesy transformations, exaggerated fight scenes, and a colourful, cartoonish aesthetic that fits with the Troma brand perfectly. The low-budget charm adds to the overall appeal, making it clear that the filmmakers had fun creating this wild world. And that's very much the same with other films of Troma. They all seem like they're having a lot of fun with it. They're not taking it seriously. And if you're looking at this film, you need to go in with that mindset. But depending on what you know Troma for, you may be expecting a little more on the blood, guts, and slime, as well as boobs, which there are some in this movie, but usually there's a lot more in Troma films. But you may come out of this a little disappointed. There's not a lot of blood and guts in this one. There's that good sushi scene. That was pretty cool. Now, final thoughts. And look, it's not a film for everyone. It's low-budget effects, its slapstick humour, and its absurd plot are an acquired taste. However, if you enjoy campy, over-the-top films with a sense of humour, you might get something out of this one. Where it lost it for me was the pacing and the movie length. Cut 15 minutes out and it would have been a tighter, fast-paced film and would have definitely been an improvement. Now, I know what you're thinking. An hour and 45 minutes isn't that long of a film when you've got movies that go for 2 hours, 3 hours nowadays. But you know what? These movies, the ones I review, they need to be bite-sized, really. There you have it. Anyway, that is my review. Overall, for a score, I would give this one a 5.5 out of 10. There you have it. That's my review. Have you seen Sgt Kabukiman NYPD? If you have, let me know what you thought of it down in the comments below. And if you haven't, the film is available for free on Tubi. Highly recommend you check it out and make up your own mind. If you can't get Tubi where you are, get a VPN. Highly recommend it. Definitely worth it. And then you'd be able to check this out. So yeah. Anyway, it's not a paid promotion for a VPN. It's just a suggestion. Anyway, I'm done. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up button, be much appreciated. And of course, subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Yeah. And if you want to see more reviews like this, hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I do release a new one. I've got my Trashy Tuesdays. I've also got my Franchise Fridays. Now, I will say one of these may be stopping temporarily for August. Might be Trashy Tuesday, it might be Franchise Friday, depending on where the stars align and all that, because I've got Argento August coming up. So yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to be looking at 4 Argento films. Yeah, one of them will be a watch along, so make sure you vote for which movie you want to see done as the first one. Yeah, be a watch along, come and join. It's always a lot of fun. We're going to have a great panel of guests. We're going to talk shit. We're going to talk the movie. We're going to just discuss movies in general as well. These are always a lot of fun. So yeah, great group of people on there. Definitely check it out. And like I said, vote for which movie you want to see. Anyway, I want to stop blathering on. Thanks very much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.